welcome to Self-Care Sunday with the Radical Social Worker. So in today's video, I'm going to do something a little bit different, and I'm actually going to model for you a breathing and grounding exercise. This is something that I personally use when I'm having a particularly anxiety-filled day. If you watched the last Self-Care Sunday video, I did talk a little bit about my personal experience living with anxiety. So this is an exercise that I myself find useful. Before I talk about this exercise and why it can be useful for you, I want to say a couple of things. First, I hope you all are doing okay. I know though some of you probably aren't. And I want to say that, the conversation about self-care can become real privileged real quick. Self-care interventions and coping skills can often seem really inaccessible for a large group of people. So the exercise that I'm going to show you today is truly meant to be accessible for everyone, regardless of the situation that you're in. This coping skill can be used in a time of crisis. It can be used throughout the day just to check in with yourself and recenter. It's useful for adults, it's useful for children. It can be useful for you if you're living in a toxic or abusive situation right now. It can be a good way to establish a sense of control and to recenter yourself and calm yourself. And I am going to link some resources in the comments for suicide prevention and domestic violence and some other resources as well, in case you're in need of that. That's my dog Izzy right there laying down, so hopefully she doesn't bark. She's been barking a lot lately. So let's talk about breathing. This exercise I'm going to show you is meant to reconnect you back to your breath. And what we know about breathing is that we need it to survive, right? We have to breathe in order to live. But what often happens throughout the day, even in our normal day-to-day lives outside of this pandemic situation, in our normal day-to-day lives as we move throughout the day, we encounter stress. And when we encounter stress, lots of things happen in our body. And one of those things that happens is we start to build tension. We start to build tension in our shoulders, in our chest, and our throat. And when that happens, our breath becomes more shallow. We're not breathing into our bodies deeply, we're breathing into our chest. Our breath can become more rapid, obviously less deep. And when that happens, that can cause mental fog, that can cause fatigue. Your body's not getting enough oxygen, right? When we're having shallow breath and insufficient air intake. So this exercise, once we leave this pandemic situation, you can continue to use it in your day-to-day life, just to kind of manage and reconnect with yourself. Now it can be beneficial for you throughout the day. Or in times of particularly intense stress, like for example, trying to do 4th grade math with your children at home. As I said before, this is not only useful for adults, it's useful for kids. And for kids right now, this can be a really challenging time. They get snippets of adult conversation, they get snippets of news. All of this can seem very overwhelming. Their world changed very quickly. They may not have the skills to cope with that, and they also may not have the vocabulary to express how they're feeling. So this exercise can also be beneficial for kids to help them regroup, start to feel a sense of control in this situation that they really have absolutely no control over. I'm going to model the exercise for you. It's very, very simple. Feel comfortable in the position you're able to be in, as comfortable as you can, whether standing, sitting, laying, whatever the case may be. And we're going to breathe. An important thing about breath when we do this exercise, we're not going to breathe into our chest, we're not going to breathe into our throat, we're going to breathe all the way down into our belly. So when you're breathing, we're going to breathe in through our nose, we're going to breathe all the way down into your belly, you're going to feel your belly expand with air. And then as you breathe out, you're going to push the air out from your belly. So you're going to feel your abdominal muscles tighten. And you're going to push that air out through your mouth. So in through our nose, down to our belly, from our belly out through our mouth. So we're going to breathe in through our nose for 4 counts. We're going to hold for 2, and then we're going to breathe out for 6 counts. And this might feel a little difficult for you if you're not used to breathing deeply, right? Because as I talked about before, we tend to breathe more shallowly as we're encountering stress, and this is a very stressful time. and we often don't really think about our breath. So this may be a little bit difficult for you, and that's okay. It'll get easier the more you do it. So I'm gonna model a couple of breaths for you, and then I'm gonna walk you through this exercise. So we're gonna go in through our nose, so in, hold, out. We'll model one more. In, hold, out. So I want to point out a couple of things. You probably saw my body actually going with my breath. So when I breathed in, you could see my whole body kind of expand. And then as I breathed out, you could see my whole body kind of go back down and contract and relax. And that's what you want when you're doing a breathing exercise. Because if you're just going, there's not a whole lot of movement there. There's not a whole lot of air going down into your body. So really try to focus on taking that air all the way down and then pushing it all the way back out and emptying your body of the air. So that's how you breathe for this exercise. So we're going to go in through our nose, hold, and then out through our mouths. So in, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now keep breathing deeply. If you want to keep counting to yourself, that's fine. But keep breathing deeply. And as you're breathing, focus on that deep breath and focus on feeling your body planted where you are. You have control right now. You have control over your breath. You're firmly planted where you are. You're connecting with your body. Feel the tension relax in your shoulders, in your throat, in your jaw. Feel the peace in knowing that you have control over your breath. And slowly let your breathing come back to normal, feeling more calm, feeling grounded, feeling in control. So that is the exercise. Very simple. You don't have to be in a quiet room to do that. You can do it in a moment of chaos. It's just about recentering with your breath. If you don't feel like you have time in the moment to do that full exercise, just take 3 deep breaths as I modeled them for you. In for 4 counts, hold for 2, out for 6. That alone, just getting that rhythm slowed down, taking control, can be alleviating for distress. And again, it can be used by anyone, anywhere. I've used it in the midst of an anxiety attack to help de-escalate myself. I've used it work when encountering severe trauma. I've used it as a professional in those situations. So it really can be utilized anytime, anywhere. So I hope that you all found that useful. And again, I hope you're doing okay. If you do need help, if you're in an abusive situation, if your mental health is struggling, if you're suffering from suicide ideation, or if you're experiencing an urge to self-harm, please check out some of the links that I've provided in the comments section. Thank you all for watching. Take care, and we'll see you next time. Bye.